I'm Zhao Tingyan, leader of this group. First, let me go through the task division of each member. I lead the whole team, assign tasks, collect and organize our assessment, write the introduction, enterprise overview, and conclusion of the full text, and make the PPT. My teammate Yu Jingke is in charge of the radio analysis and all kinds of the charts. Li Jiayao takes care of long-term strategy part and checks the grammar of the entire text. Yao Peiyu is responsible for horizontal analysis and sorting the appendix. Zhang Lingtong mainly does the vertical analysis and sorts out and makes the balance sheet, liability sheet, and income statement. Hu Minzhen handle trade interpretation, industry analysis, and comparison as well as the SWOT analysis. Zhang Mingfan is in charge of the short-term strategy part and organizes and makes the presentation video. Every member of our group is highly responsible, and we will try our best. Next, I will present the first two parts of the report, the introduction and enterprise overview. British Berhad listed on Bursa Malaysia is mainly engaged in environmental products and services, water treatment system equipment, and related supporting products. Drawing on the company's audited annual reports for the years ended December 31st, 2022 and 2023, this analysis used horizontal, vertical, radio, and trade analysis to evaluate its financial performance, with interpretations based on the context of Malaysia's manufacturing and distribution industry. On this basis, the report puts forward financial management recommendations to boost the company's financial performance over the next 5 years. Notably, these environmental products and services, about 78.88% of the total revenue in 2023, indicated the company's heavy reliance on its main businesses. Thus, we will link the main businesses when discussing financial characteristics later and focus more on company's capability to balance core business advantage and financial strategy challenges in the 5 years future plan.
My name is Yao Peiyu. I'm responsible for introducing the horizontal analysis of the company's balance sheet, cash flow statement, and income statement. First, let's look at the financial situation. The growth rate of the company's total liabilities is higher than that of total assets, mainly due to the increase in long-term loans, which also explains the rise in financial costs. The growth rate of current assets is higher than that of current liabilities, indicating sufficient short-term liquidity. Shareholders' equity increased by 6.64%, with retained earnings rising, but the growth rate of equity is lower than that of liabilities, suggesting a higher leverage ratio in the capital structure. Next, let's look at the profitability. Operating income decreased by 2.16%, but operating profit increased by 4.06%, indicating effective cost control. Due to the increase in long-term loans, financial costs rose by 56.72%, and interest expenses erode profits. Ultimately, net profit attributable to shareholders decreased by 6.54%, with financial costs being the source of pressure. Finally, let's look at the cash flow. Cash flow from operating activities decreased by 7.23%, but remained positive. Investment cash flow turned positive, mainly due to property sales and a reduction in investment expenditure. A decrease in financing cash outflows led to a net increase of 1.65 million in cash, improving liquidity. Overall, the company has driven asset growth through long-term borrowing, but higher interest costs have squeezed profits. At the same time, the company has improved cash flow through asset disposal, and its strategy may shift from expansion to optimizing the asset portfolio and cash flow management. Thank you all.
My name is Jiang Lingtong and I'm responsible for the vertical analysis. Based on the company's balance sheet, profit and loss statement, and equity statement, we can see that in terms of asset structure, investment properties account for a large proportion, while fixed assets used for production and operation are relatively few, rely on the stable cash flow generated by real estate. Current assets are more financialized, with working capital accounting for a small proportion. Short-term investments, cash, and deposits constitute the main buffer, which enhances liquidity security, but also makes capital returns more fluctuation. The equity composition has a high proportion of revaluation earnings, making it prone to instability during market volatility. In terms of profit structure, the core business has a high gross profit margin and stable profits. Other investments-related revenue is relatively high, resulting in an overall investment-oriented structure. Overall, the quality of profitability is good, but the proportion of administrative expenses is high, and combined with other operating expenses. This indicates a significant administrative cost. In summary, the company's financial leverage is relatively conservative, and its overall strategy is relatively stable.
Hello everyone, I'm Yu Jinke, responsible for the financial retail analysis. I will briefly explain four key financial indicators of British based on its business performance. First, the current ratio shows that the company manages strong short-term liquidity. This level of liquidity is important for British project-based operations, as it supports funding needs throughout different project stages and improves the company's ability to manage uncertainty. Second, in terms of debt-related indicators, the interested overage ratio then shows a downward trend, mainly due to rising facilitation costs. This suggests that the company should pay closer attention to controlling facilitation expenses and overturning its debt structure. Third, the net profit. Measuring reflects solid pro-saving power and effective cost control in the environmental protection and water treatment sectors. Although assist expansion has slightly affected overall return indicators, the profitability and overall quality of the core business remain stable. Finally, the total assist turnover is influenced by investment purposes. While this assist generates stable rental income, they reduce overall asset efficiency. In addition, slower accounts receivable turnover and increased overdue payments highlights the need to strengthen central management and improve cash flow. Overall, British shows stable financial performance and fund profitability, with improvements in asset analyzation and receivable management. Its future performance is expected to further improve.
Hello, Prof. I'm Hu Mingze. My job is tender horizons. These slides show the company's tender and mining program from 2019 to 2023. Revenue was high, then went down and then stable. Revenue fell from 27.86 million RM to 25.11 million RM. This meant the company has not fully returned to the level before counting. No, the company is in the danger of Slow grants but stammer preferred. Anything element went down later. Opination preferred still went up, with shows that the mining business is healthy and the cost counter is good. However, net profits did not increase, so the company now has many assets but low cash return. When interest tends go up, this will bring more prisoner to the companies. Side 2. This side shows assistance and adjustment consideration. Total listens increased by 12.79%, mainly because of more investment performance. Investment performance make up 16.64% of total arrests. So the ascent standard is similar to an investment property company. In the terms of profit, the gross profit manager is 59%, and the net profit manager is 28.08%. Both are much healthier than the induced average. This shows that the companies invest money very well, but from the market side, the company usually this is safer for investors. In short, the company has strong purse but the low market price.
Hello, Professor. I'm Zhang Mengfan. I contribute in this strategic analysis. Before moving to our strategy, we briefly summarize the key financial findings using a SWOT framework. Overall, the profitability and the liquidity ratios shows that the company is in a pretty strong financial position. But at the same time, the efficiency and the financing ratio suggest that the costs are rising and assets are not being used very efficiently. So the main issue here is not the market demand. It's more about efficiency, cash flow quality, and how resources are managed. So based on this conclusion, we set our short-term and long-term strategic direction. The short-term strategies. Instead of growing fast, we focus on stabilizing performance and improving how the business operates. First, we start with working capital. The company already has a lot of cash, so the question is how to use it better. We want to collect cash faster from customers and keep liquidity at a safe level. That's why we target a reliable turnover at least 4.5, while maintaining the current ratio above 3. Second, we aim to control financing cost pressure. Right now, finance cost is starting to reduce profits, so we want to stop that from getting worse. Our goal is to bring the interest coverage ratio back to 6 or above, and this strategy directly addresses the financing erosion identified in the SWOT analysis. Third, we focus on revenue quality, not just revenue size. This approach reduces risk while improving asset efficiency. We focus more on recurring service and existing customers. That also help to improve asset efficiency over time. Overall, the short-term strategy is about using existing resources more efficiently.
My name is Li Jiayao. I will introduce to you the long-term strategy and make conclusions of British company. Over the next 5 years, first, optimize the capital structure by managing cash flow to control debt costs, set ratios, ensuring that new debts and capital expenditures meet an ICR of is greater than or equal to 6, and through debt swaps and refinancing, ensure that the growth rate of financial costs is lower than that of operating profits. Second, adjust the investment strategy to improve asset efficiency and reduce reliance on valuation gains. Assess and transform inefficient assets, reduce debts, and prioritize investments in core businesses with stable cash flows. New project adopts PPP joint light asset models to avoid low turnover. Third, strengthen risk management by upgrading interest risks, compliance, and collection management to a predictive plus trigger mechanisms. Optimize fixed and floating interest rate structures. Use hedging tools and set warnings. Formulate a climate adaptation annual budget list. Add cost transfer clauses to contracts. And strengthen overdue accounts receivable management with racial individual responsibility management alert. Based on the analysis of the comprehensive financial statements, we believe that the company has a solid profit foundation, but it is facing a test of adjusting its growth model. If the core strategy of reducing financing costs, improving asset efficiency, and stabilizing cash flow is implemented within 1 to 5 years, it is expected to convert the high growth profit into more sustainable growth. That's all of our presentation. We thank you for your time and attention.